I quit my job. I put all my stuff in storage. I even gave away my cat. I was now living off the money I'd saved for the past year. I had decided I was going to hike the Pacific Crest Trail, the PCT, all 2,600 miles of it from Mexico to Canada. For the next 5 months, I would be on vacation. All I had to do was wake up, walk, and enjoy nature. Or at least I thought. It all started in my mid-30s. I had just gotten back into backpacking. I was overloaded with all my new REI gear. I was on an overnighter when I spotted my first real PCTers. I remember they came gliding down the trail, moving faster than anyone else I've ever seen hike. They looked so comfortable out there. They were laughing, they had on the tiniest of packs, and when they passed me, they smelled absolutely horrible. Yet they were loving it, and it created a spark. Over the years, I often thought back at those hikers, and I began to wonder about myself. What were my limits? How far could I push myself? Was I capable of the Pacific Crest Trail? 5 years later, I stood at the Mexican border. I tightened the straps on my pack, and I started to walk north. The trail wound its way through the deserts and mountains of Southern California. After 6 weeks, 700 miles, and many, many blisters, I finally made it to the Sierras. But nothing could have prepared me for what was to come. After years of drought, Mother Nature unleashed a fury of record snowfall. The trail was covered deep in snow, the rivers were raging, and I was scared. But together, with a band of other hikers whose trail names were Airplane Mode, Happy Feet, Indigo, LL Cool Juniper, and myself Bliss for all my blisters I had. We entered the Sierras unsure if we would make it out. Every day, we climbed up and over dozens of high mountain passes. We forded so many cold rivers that I never had dry feet. Eventually, we made it through the Sierras and into Northern California, and I felt like a battle-hardened warrior. Woo! Yeah! But then, the exhilaration of those Sierras were replaced with hundreds and hundreds of miles of muggy, monotonous foothills. I also figured out that in order to get to Canada before the first snowstorms, that I had to push at least 27 miles a day. The toll of all these miles began to eat away at me. I began to ask myself more and more frequently, why had I reached my limit? Why was I doing this to myself? Why couldn't I just take a real vacation with a tropical beach and pina coladas? I was now getting close to the Oregon border. It had been about 3 months, and I'd covered over 1,500 miles. And I wanted to quit. PCTers, they have a saying that the trail provides, and in this moment, I needed its help. And it came one early morning in the dark of my tent. I lay there in my sleeping bag. My feet were painfully swollen like they had been for the past few weeks. And I was just trying to muster enough strength to get up and get going, but I couldn't. And I remember I reached up over my head to where the valve was on my air mattress, and I opened it. I closed my eyes, I took a deep breath, and I said, I am grateful to be out here. I'm grateful for my friends and family. I'm grateful for that trail angel that gave me a ride so I could get my resupply box in town. For that old fella out in the desert who offered me a root beer float. For my trail family, they always make me laugh. For that refreshing lake I got to swim in today. For discovering that peanut butter and ramen make the best meal ever. For finding that cell phone service on that ridgeline that allowed me to call my wife and let her know I was okay. For my own 2 feet, for getting me through all these miles, I'm just truly grateful. The air, it sputtered, and then it stopped. I could feel the cold ground against my back, but it didn't bother me. The pain in my feet was now tolerable, and I was ready to tackle the trail. After this, I started every morning with this air mattress mantra. And 1,100 miles later, it got me to Canada. Woo! Yeah. The Pacific Crest Trail and the 5 months I spent on it were one of the hardest and greatest gifts of my life. Today, when I've had a hard day, or when I just feel like I need that real vacation, I sometimes think back at the lessons I learned on the trail. And sometimes I just need to remind myself to close my eyes, breathe, and listen for that shh.